Okay, sometimes it's nice to start off with a bit of feedback. Okay, so a bit of feedback is, can't you move the microphone away from your face? So these are people that are watching me on YouTube. So by the way, I'm on YouTube. Oh, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. What the hell, would it kill you? I need 10,000 subscribers. Now I've only got 83. I had 89. I lost 6 people in the last week. Hope it wasn't COVID or anything else tragic. So the feedback is, can't you move the microphone away? It's obscuring your face. So I try to explain, this is actually a friend of mine. So I said to him, no, well, people need to be able to hear me for my audio, because I do this on normal podcast platform like Spotify, iTunes, Podomatic, or whatever. It's all on the Stitcher. It's all on different. So that's the normal podcast. So this is what this microphone's for, by the way. The YouTube video, the microphone is my desktop microphone, and the sound is remarkably pretty good. Okay, so other feedback. People like the headlines at the beginning, but then they say I must do a little bit of commentary as well. So I've examined the data. I've examined the research. I think I was using the qualitative methodology. I've decided to just use the data and the research as a guideline. You can't just. I'm not going to treat the research as written in stone. I've decided, after much consultation with myself, I'm just going to see how it goes. Because what happened was, I looked at the headlines this morning while I was preparing, and there wasn't really anything really that interesting. Well, there were a lot of things, but nothing that really grabbed me. Like, how's this for a headline? Which Netflix plans on producing movies that traditionally would have drawn huge audiences in theaters. That is not news. How is that news? That's not a news headline. I think Netflix, it's like Tony Leon saying that the DA needs to try and wipe away its reputation as a whites-only party. pretty redundant. You know how I always say, leave it to the experts. So when I decide what TV shows to watch, and I've mentioned this before, I can't sit and watch the Emmys anymore. If they're not going to have Tina Fey and her bosom buddy, or Ricky Gervais or Billy Crystal or somebody like that presenting, what's the point? So I just look at the winners the next day, and this program, Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso, it's a sitcom. It's on Apple TV. It got the lion's share of all the awards. Best sitcom, best everything. Jason Sudeikis. I think he won Best Actor. So I haven't subscribed to Apple up until last night or the night before, or was it the night before? I thought, no, it's a bit too lavish. Got Amazon already, got Netflix, got Hulu. To be honest with you, I hardly ever watch Hulu. Got Disney Plus. Hardly ever look at Disney Plus. I found with Hulu and Disney Plus and Amazon, there is the odd show that's really, really good, that's worth having those platforms. But my go-to is still Netflix. Is it just better marketing on Netflix part? Who knows? So in the last couple of months, I've been thinking about Apple, but I thought, but much. Can't have everything. Can't have everything. But you know what? Even if you have all of those, it's still cheaper than DSTV. You know that? Okay. Well, Netflix, Netflix is like $9, which is like... Anyway, I'm not going to do the maths now. So I didn't mention anything to Bernice about should we get Apple. I thought, let me leave it. And then Bernice wanted, well, indirectly, we landed up getting Apple. Bernice wanted this movie. It's one of her favorite movies. I don't know why. It's a good movie, but I don't know why. The Last King of Scotland with Forrest Whitaker and that Scottish actor whose name I don't remember. And it's a good movie, all about Idi Amin, based on true facts. But the overall plot was a bit fictionalized. But there was some. It was based around Idi Amin, and they touched on the hostages that were at the Entebbe airport. Anyway, point is, she wanted this movie, but with all the platforms we have, couldn't find it, just so you can click on it and watch it. So the options we discovered was you can rent it, either on Vudu, VUDU, which is another platform, or Apple TV. So we tried Vudu, and it was very user-unfriendly. We're unsuccessful. Won't talk about Vudu ever again. Apple TV, what a pleasure. You click on, got a week's free trial, but you know what? We'll take it. It comes to like 78 Rand a month, and we rented this Last King of Scotland. You pay 34 Rand, and you keep it for 48 hours. So Bernice watched it twice. We watched it together. Well, I'm trying to do the Rubik's Cube. So I've seen the movie twice before. I was fiddling with the Rubik's Cube. Tell you about the Rubik's Cube another time. That's another story. Still haven't fit. Anyway, I've solved it twice, but they were flukes. I need to solve it where I know how I solved it. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. So now we got Apple TV, and okay, so last night I tried Ted Lasso. So it's Ted, T-E-D, and then Lasso, L-A-S-S-O. Now, I'm thinking this is going to be hilarious. I'm going to really enjoy it. It's going to be at the same level as Schitt's Creek, Seinfeld, Friends, Cheers in its day. What other sitcom? Maude in its day. Golden Girls in its day. You get curb your enthusiasm, you know what I'm saying. Thinking I'm going to sit there, maybe not burst into laughter, but I'm watching it. I watched the first episode and I watched about 10, 15 minutes of the second episode. Let me tell you, it's kind of maybe just a little bit better than mediocre. The story, just loosely, there's no spoiler alert. I'm not spoiling anything, because this you learn in the first minute or 2 minutes of the show. A moderately successful NFL, National Football League coach somewhere in Texas, in America. He gets recruited. He gets headhunted to coach a Premier League football club, a soccer club in England. And so from Texas, him and his weird sidekick coach, they go off to England. And there it is, like a fish out of water, cultural shock, just this whole thing. So, clever original idea. Full marks. But not hilarious, not funny. There are moments. The one character, the owner of the club, nice character. Ted Lasso's character, His sidekick, less than I might get to like Ted Lasso, the character played by Jason Sudeikis, or Sudeikis. I'm gonna have to give it a chance. I'll persevere, because it's not torturous. It's mildly enjoyable. At best, mildly enjoyable. I don't know how it wins all these Emmy Awards. It's all about marketing. It's got this. It's behind this Apple brand. Apple is so cool, so people give it a chance. I'm telling you, there are other shows that are better than Ted Lasso, that are on other platforms that don't have that strong brand. I saw there's a show I started watching, Lilyhammer on Netflix. Lilyhammer's far better than Ted Lasso, in my opinion. Also, a very clever original story. It's with Little Steven from Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. He played one of the gangsters in The Sopranos. So he plays a gangster in Lilyhammer. And he goes under witness protection. And they send him off to Lilyhammer. So Lilyhammer is a little town. Is it in Norway? I don't remember. I think it's in Norway. Anyway, a far better show, but I don't think anybody knows about it. I found it by accident. So that's my review of Ted Lasso. Give it a go. There are one or two other good shows on Apple that have done well. Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston are on a show called Good Morning America, or Good Morning, or something morning. So that's very popular. Anyway, disappointed with Ted Lasso. Didn't lift me up, eh? Didn't lift me up. So, the question I ask you now: how is your intermittent fasting? We made a pledge yesterday. Maybe you didn't realize it was a pledge. Maybe in hindsight I didn't use the word pledge. But we're doing this intermittent fasting. We're going to do it together. I started it. So my last meal was actually at about 6:30 last night. But then I ate a little tiny bit of lamb at 8:30. Does that count as the last time I ate? I suppose it does. So I'm looking at my watch now. It's already 10:30. So 8:30 to 8:30 is 12 hours. I must do another 4. So I mustn't eat anything until 12:30. Because that's 16 hours. You mustn't eat anything for 16 hours. I made myself 2 huge cups of tea and I put milk. And then I thought, oh no, was that a mistake? And yes, it was a mistake. I Googled intermittent fasting, what can you drink? Yeah. It said even a quarter cup of milk ruins the effectiveness of the intermittent fasting, because even a quarter cup of milk will trigger your body to produce insulin. Okay. So the whole idea is you don't want your body to produce insulin because you want the glucose in your blood to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, I can get really technical, but I don't want to get technical. Convert it to ATP and use this energy, but no, I don't want to say that. Let's just say you want the whole idea is you want the glucose to be converted into energy, used up. There you go. I suppose it's almost the same thing. That's the whole idea. So I may have messed up. So what should I do? Maybe give it an extra hour? Maybe an extra hour? Well, I don't feel that hungry now. So I'll give it a go. Give it a go. So speaking of TV, I told you the other day that I eventually watched My Octopus Teacher. Have you watched it yet? It's on Netflix. I avoided watching it for almost a year, because whenever something's popular, it's almost like, you know what, I want to be different. I know I told you the truth. It's nice to be different. Have you seen The Octopus Teacher? It's nice to say, no, not yet. I'm thinking about it. And then I think, oh, Damon's quite an intellect, eh? Quite discerning, doesn't just watch anything. You know? Have you watched Schitt's Creek? Didn't watch Schitt's Creek for years. Because I'm discerning. Makes me appear to be, a bit of an intellect. Anyway, Octopus Teacher, eventually watched it. Yes, it was very good. In fact, it was excellent, but not as good as the hype. Did it deserve an Oscar? I don't know. I never examined the other documentaries. Who am I? I'm not an expert. But why am I talking about this now? Because it got me thinking. I'm looking at this article, Listen to this. Octopuses, crabs, and lobsters, according to researchers, they've just discovered this, and I don't know, they've just discovered this. They're capable of experiencing pain or suffering, and this is according to some commission, that a review commissioned by the UK government. These creatures now, octopuses, crabs, and lobsters, are now officially stated as sentient beings. And what does that mean? They will be given protection under new animal welfare laws. So you're thinking, okay, people will stop eating octopuses and lobsters and crabs. People will know. You know what it is. So the crabs and the lobsters, you can't boil them alive anymore. Wow. But you can still eat them. So lobsters and crabs shouldn't be boiled alive, and included best practices for the transport, stunning, and slaughter of these decapods and cephalopods. So in other words, maybe not such a big deal. You'll just be treated a bit better. Yes, we will still eat you. Oh yes, you're going to die. Don't look at me like that. You're going to die. We'll just be a bit nicer about it. We're not going to boil you alive. And when we transport you, it might be a bit nicer. You won't get squashed in crates. Maybe you'll be a little bit, I don't know, maybe you'll have a bit more crab, more crab space. More space. All in all, your life is still not good. You're still going to die. Just a little bit more comfortable. How about that? It's kind of like the whole free range thing when you go shopping. I sometimes do this. I'll go for the free range because the animal died happy is the theory. So the lamb or the cow or the bull was roaming free, frolicking in the meadows. But then, they still got called into the slaughterhouse. Schlechted, gone. So you had a slightly better life. Okay. Yeah. And that's what? There was lots of other things. There was another story that I saw. Let me try. Oh, you got to. Oh. Silly me. It's amazing. You got to write things down. For me, can I be a little bit of a share something a little bit embarrassing, but personal. I'm starting to forget where I parked my car. And that's the start of it, hey? I park my car at the parking outside the shops. I go into the mall, I do my shopping, and I come out and I've forgotten where I've parked my car. And is this the start that I'm losing it, that I'm developing Alzheimer's? Am I developing dementia? You don't know? I don't know. I don't think so. I think I'm not exercising my brain enough. I think that's what it is. I think you need to read more. I think that's what it is. Don't socialize enough. I'm not socializing. I don't ever go out. Hardly. I went to a braai Saturday. Was it Saturday or was it Sunday? Doesn't matter. And everybody was talking and I didn't talk a lot. Interesting. Could this be the stop? Anyway. So, that just came about because I'm saying I have to make notes. Otherwise I'm going to forget what to talk about. So, the main story, I think, in South Africa is all these political parties negotiating, forming coalitions, deciding to form coalitions or deciding not to form coalitions and making big decisions. It's a lot to digest. It's a lot to remember. It's a lot to understand. It's a lot to follow. At this stage, all I know for definite is that Johannesburg has a new mayor. She's a woman. She's part of the DA, the Democratic Alliance, and her name is Mpho Palese. That's all I know for definite. They're in a coalition with, I'm not 100% sure. I think Action SA is involved. I'm not sure about the EFF and the ANC. I'm sorry, I'm not 100% sure. You know, we have a lot of major cities in South Africa. There's the eThekwini area. There's the Nelson Mandela Bay metropolitan. There's the Cape Town. Yes, there's Tamanchwane, Pretoria. And so I think what's best to do, considering I don't know where I park my car, is just I'll learn and remember as I go along. As I go along, I'll try and remember. And I've learned Mpho Palese's name. I don't know her history. I don't know her story. But look, I wish her luck. Somebody tweeted that being the mayor of a major city like Johannesburg is more complex, more difficult, more challenging than a lot of jobs, and more difficult and challenging than some cabinet positions. How about that? So, wishing Mpho Palese luck. John Steenhuisen, leader of the DA, he posted a video just over 9 minutes long. Just, John, keep videos down to 3 to 4 minutes. But he did well. I thought he did well. He explained what the DA is doing, and I might have to watch it again. Can't remember everything that he said, to be honest. But try find it. Maybe you'll learn something. Full marks for the DA for doing something like that. I think the ANC, Action SA, EFF should also do something like that. Old John Steenhuisen, he looked like he was like Rian Kreyvagen doing a news bulletin on TV. That's how it looked. Not bad presentation. Well done, John Steenhuisen. So, just here's a tip. Democratic Alliance and John Steenhuisen. It was a good presentation, but you know what would have helped? While he's talking, you do graphics to reinforce and to help you understand the video, and it'll help the viewer remember what you say. So when he says Mpho Palese, Mayor of Joburg, you have that in graphics as well. He also, think about the deaf people. He never had a signed person. So for deaf people as well, it's very, very important. There's my tip. I should be a media consultant. I'm telling you. I should. Yeah. I didn't do a follow-up. I know I didn't do a follow-up on those 4 boys in Polokwane that were kidnapped. So by now they were. Oh, I did cover the fact that they were returned to their family. And then the story over the weekend is that the family paid 50 million rands in ransom, in cash. That's quite something. Is there an assumption that the police are following up and trying to catch these kidnappers? Who knows? Did they mark the bills? Did they make records of all the serial numbers and try to trace the money? Who knows? But a story that came out yesterday, and I saw it this morning, certain insurance companies are offering kidnap insurance. How about that? Kidnap insurance. I saw somebody won just over 100 million rand in the Powerball must have been last week. That person might need kidnap insurance. Because as much of a secret as you keep it a secret, eventually people find out you got 100 million rand, and then your life, immediately, think about it, your life is in danger. As soon as somebody knows you got 100 million rand in cash, immediately your life changes, your life is in danger. You and your whole family. Think about that. You need kidnap insurance. Imagine kidnapping. How are they going to sell kidnap? They can't sell kidnap insurance to everybody. I mean, these insurance companies are not going to give kidnap insurance to anybody. Think about it. I mean, imagine you living on the bones of your ass. You're barely making a living. Don't be silly. You don't need kidnap insurance. Can you imagine taking out kidnap insurance? You're going to be asked all these questions before they decide to give you this insurance, and also to work out your premiums. Will they be cold calling you? I mean, somebody cold calls me, hello, how are you? And I say, okay, and you, I'm fine, thank you for asking. Tell me, now the first question they need to ask is, how much do you earn? How much do you earn? Because straight away, okay, I earn, I'm not sure how much I earn. We share an account, and I take money when I can. That's my answer. Okay, boom, end of conversation. We're going to offer you kidnap insurance, but you know what? You're not a candidate for kidnap insurance. Imagine if you are a candidate. Questions like, well, first of all, have you ever been kidnapped before? Have you or any member of your family been kidnapped before? That's a classic question. Have you been a victim of crime? Have you ever been hijacked? Because from being hijacked, a hijacking can turn into a kidnapping. Very often, very often. And kidnapping is not necessarily somebody asking for a ransom. Kidnapping also that you take it away, and then they dump you somewhere, they leave you on the side of the road. You were kidnapped. Maybe only for 20 minutes, half an hour, you were driven around, but you were kidnapped. Will your kidnap insurance cover you? Who knows? Speak to the guy, I don't know, speak to the consultant. You'll ask that question. That's a question to ask. If I'm kidnapped, but no ransom is asked, but I'm left on the side of the road, will my kidnap insurance cover my trauma? Will my kidnap insurance cover the loss of my car? No, that's a separate insurance. Kidnap insurance will only cover ransom if you think about it. Yeah. Kidnap insurance will only cover ransom. Well, you'll learn that from your consultant when they ask you, when they're trying to sell you kidnap. Imagine they're trying to sell you kidnap insurance. There were stories over the weekend, and Carte Blanche did a big thing about kidnapping. They say kidnapping is a big thing. There's kidnapping all the time. It's a big thing. I don't know if yes, it's gone up and it's happening, but not at the. They were saying there's like hundreds and hundreds of kidnappings all the time. I'm not so sure about that. Not so sure about that. Now, other questions? Are you worried that you're going to be kidnapped? Has there ever been an attempted kidnapping of you? Have you ever been followed and you suspected they were potential kidnappers? So those are all the questions that you will be asked if you are ever regarded as a possible client for kidnap insurance. Something to think about. How about that? Kidnap insurance, eh? Yo, what next, eh? What next? What next? Yo. Okay, well, that's it for now. We'll think about all of that, and we'll chat next time. We're not really chatting as per se. We will continue this thing, tomorrow.